Easily integrate IoT and AI solution. Okay, these are the latest buzzwords, IoT and AI solution with our messaging services. And all this without any coding. Wow, amazing. So how are we going to do that? So we're going to share a very interesting platform, amazing platform that can allow you to do that. And we have collaborated with them in order to do messaging as well. So if you need to send a messages to the phone devices, everything, you can use this solution. Okay, we have Mr. Nicholas Lim, who is the head of AI and IoT. Yes, you see him waving that handsome chap there from Asteria Technology. He's going to share who Asteria is, and this is very exciting because he's also used to be a founder of an IT company, so he knows very familiar with all this technology. So he's going to share with you this platform that can do, I think, wonderful things. And we also have from SendQuick, Ms. Jasmine Lim, my colleague.
Hi.
Okay, so she's our business development manager who's also well versed in all our products, especially our messaging solutions. So she's going to share a bit later on about that. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over the time to Nicholas, who is going to start the presentation, right? So Nicholas, let's hand it over to you.
Thank you very much, Andy, and also Jasmine for the invite. I think this is also my first time here, presenting to you all of you guys. So I'm super excited to be here. Let me just share my screen real quick so we can get started. Okay, I think are we all good? Can we all see this? And we can all see this, right? Andy as well. Yeah, I think we are good to go here. So thank you again. And my name is Nicholas, and I'm here actually to share about technology and also our combined technologies between SendQuick and our product called Gravio. But before we get into all the nice and juicy bits and the detail, got to go through some formalities. So I'm here to share about how you can build innovative chat solutions with a no-code AI and IoT platform, right? And some of the things that we're going to cover today, they're not too many things, not too heavy. So a little bit of a background, myself, also the company and also the product. Then also moving on to our partnership. Why did we do it? How is it being done? Then dive a little bit deeper into our product, which is called Gravio, and how does it work? Then finally, we'll move on to more interactive stuff where I share some use cases that could be applicable to you, and hopefully they are applicable to you and you can use them in very much horizontal industries. Then moving on to live demos at the end, so you can see actually the things happening in action, also showing you a little bit on how the no-code part works, right, and how it all pieces it all together. So about myself, my name is Nicholas. Yeah, I have combined about 8 years experience now in the IoT, AI, and Gen AI space. In my previous life, I was also a system integrator. So I understand the difficulties of building and piecing solutions together. So I think with my combined expertise, my main goal is to help people get started or in any part of their AI or IoT journey. So about Asteria. So our product name is actually called Gravio, but I'm from a company called Asteria. We are founded in 1998, and we have a headquarters in Tokyo. We have a few offices spread around the world now. Singapore, Hangzhou, we have one in Texas also. But our core focus is building connectivity platforms, right? And everything that we build, all the products that we build is around the basis of connectivity. So we help companies be more interconnected, be more efficient, leveraging latest technologies with their old existing data. So we're now listed on Tokyo Main Exchange, and of course we have some of the big clients in Japan, like Nikkei, Panasonic, ASICS. They use our product in a few of our products in one way or another. We have 4 core products. So Asteria Warp is our application integration platform, and it connects very legacy systems together. A lot of the banks use it in Japan to connect very old and legacy banking systems to create new business processes from them. Unfortunately, that's only available in Japan, and also the software is only available in Japanese. Then moving on to Gravio, which is the team that I am in. We are an IoT and AI edge integration platform. So we connect to sensors, cameras, AI services, IoT services, software services, and we enable anyone to build the solutions in this aspect without coding. Then we have Platio, which is a mobile app framework. So it's very useful for people who go out in the field, working, using their phones a lot more than using their computer. You can actually build internal apps and ship them to your own internal organizations, which again can use without coding. Then last but not least, we have Handbook X, which is one of our newer products as well. It's on the basis of document and content distribution. So you can share specific files, specific books that with people that you only want to share it with, and they do not have access to share it with anyone else. But today we're focusing a lot on Gravio and SendQuick and our partnership. And the reason for that is, as you all know, and you guys are pretty much more familiar than with SendQuick than with Gravio, but SendQuick helps you guys connect on a human level to other people in different organizations or within the same organization that could be in another country through chat, right? And you do it very seamlessly, and you get notified and you can chat to another person that use a different platform, but you can use your own preferred choice of a platform. But on the other hand, Gravio connects to the AI and IoT devices, which means we connect a lot of the software space to the physical space. Hence, when we combine our products, we can actually change the ways humans communicate with technology and also how technology can communicate with humans. So how does it work? I know this is kind of like super high level, just 4 very key points that I would like to talk about and wrap it around with like no code. But with our tools combined, we actually provide an endless set of like feature sets that you can build on. Not only that, it can help you streamline workflows without tempering existing operations. What do I mean by that? It means that you can actually still use your existing or preferred choice of chat application, but layer another new set of technologies into that exact operation. We also help you ensure that the solution is scalable and flexible. So due to our nature of it being no code, you can, when we add a new feature or a new product, you will be able to have access to that regardless of what you choose. Then in terms of future-proofing, your technology stack will then be future-proof with our services combined because of the new features that we keep adding on to the platform and giving you access to latest and emerging technologies without the technical barriers. So how does it work? Let's dive a little bit deeper into how does a no-code platform actually work. So just 4 very key points. A no-code platform really tries to achieve this, which is enable anyone who is not technical to build a solution or test a different idea or build a proof of concept without the technical barriers, right? So if I give you an analogy, we are kind of like a software form of Lego bricks, right? You can actually build any form of Lego that you want into a new product. And this product, you can, hand it off to someone else. You can play with it as a new toy. But whenever there's a new form of Lego bricks, you can still use those Lego bricks and add on or modify your existing solution. Next, something that we are different is we work on premise and also in the cloud. What's the reason for that? So we're not really like a SaaS where everything just goes to the cloud, everything is stored in one place. But we believe that the brain of the physical space should be closer to the data source. And if you're controlling things and learning about the environment, we do not want all the data to be sent back to the cloud all the time. You can do that, but not all the time. That's kind of why we work on premise and in the cloud. And our platform specializes in connecting to AI and IoT services. Does not mean that we only connect to specific brands of sensors, but instead we're going the other way around where we connect to industry standards. This means it provides a multiplier to the devices that you can use. In a diagram, you can easily understand that we only have 2 very core pillars, right? One, you have the inputs. And from the input side, we take in, GPS coordinates, camera pictures, connect to cameras, sensors, and various other industry standards, or in this case, will be SendQuick's platform. And we'll be able to receive that onto our platform to create some form of logic. And then you can create your own output. And what I mean by that is if we have a chat and the chat comes onto our platform, we can create a condition to say, if I receive a certain message, then I will want to run a certain set of actions. And these actions are in the no-code space, which means you can utilize, any of these kind of tools. Say, for example, if I want to send the message to OpenAI, then after that, change the color of the light. I just got to stack them in the right order. And then I can put SendQuick as the last step and then send it back out to your respective chat platforms. So that's kind of the idea, right? We have inputs, then we create a condition. We want to do a set of things. And then that's kind of like the output. So let's kind of dive a little bit deeper now to use cases. How does Gravio and SendQuick actually work together? So I have prepared 4 use cases today. So the first one is real-time IoT alerts. That will help you learn about the physical space. It's pretty much one directional. Something happens in the physical environment, you receive a notification on your phone. Then if we add a little bit of complexity to it, we can actually use generative AI to do some basic sensor analysis on the data that you have. On the third, we have actuation through chat. So chatting through actuating something through chat, I think will be something more common now. Previously, it's more like, I have a dashboard or some form of UI and I press something and then something will happen. But the chat interface is becoming more and more important thanks to OpenAI and also ChatGPT. So we're going to be controlling something through chat in the demo later. And finally, in the last one is a very new up and coming concept called visual question and answer. VQA is the ability to attach a picture together with a prompt, and you send this to an AI, and the AI can infer from the picture and give you a response depending on the prompt. So you can learn about what's happening in the picture trained by the world's data. So why is this so important? Because when people talk about learning something from pictures, usually they will lean towards computer vision, right? And when people start learning about computer vision, they realize that they always have to train specific computer vision models that are bespoke to their use case. It can be, detecting shoes or detecting cups. Not everyone has that kind of, time to go and train those models. So with VQA, it's a very simple way to understand if that works in the first place. You can attach a picture, you can ask how many cups are there in this picture. Something like that could be very powerful and provides a very low barrier of entry together with the use case of generative AI. So the reason why we think this is great for, healthcare professionals, educational institutes, I think this is just what my view is, and I may be wrong, but what I see is that these technologies can be applied to a lot of horizontal industries and even industries that I have never thought of. All right, I think now we can move on to the more hands-on stuff and the more juicy stuff. So I prepared 4 use cases that we can look at today. I think the first one is IoT alerts. We're going to start with something really simple. So we have a button. So if you look at my camera right now, I actually have a physical button with me, the one you see on the slide as well. What will happen is when I push the button, I will send a message to Gravio, which is our platform. And then we will make sense of that data and send it on to SendQuick, which is a different form of data, which we will receive on Line and Telegram, respectively. So let me just set that up. So we have this, and then we have this, and here. Okay. So I have a button here. So if I push it once, we should be able to receive a notification saying the short button was pressed. All right, so what's a short button, right? It means I just pushed it for a very short amount of time. But if I push it twice, if I double click, I will receive the notification of, the double button was pressed. So what I'm trying to show here is just really a basic form of receiving alerts. And it's not only bound to like a button, right? You can always add humidity, temperature, even indoor air quality. For toilets, you can be like PM 2.5, which is like a particle matter. And then you can start saying if it's too high or if CO2 is above a certain level, then I want to send the CO2 data and also alert someone, through chat to say, hey, please go have a look at this place. Maybe there's something wrong, right? Or something's happening. You can go and investigate. That's kind of the first one. And then let's move on to the next demo, which is a little bit more complicated. I wouldn't say complicated. There's a layer of complexity to it, but let's check it out. So we have here, let's open this up again. Okay, so we have here Gen AI data analysis. So this will involve getting messages from the chat via SendQuick as a first step. And then we will, depending on what we receive, we will take the history of the humidity sensor data from the database and send it to OpenAI for some analysis, which is the question we're going to ask OpenAI is, what is the humidity trend today? And then we'll receive that as a response, and you will be able to receive some form of trend analysis from this, right? So before I show this demo at the end to end, maybe I would like to show you how it actually works, right? On a no-code platform, what's actually going under the hood, right? So I have Gravio in the cloud currently running in AWS. So I can actually do configurations where these are the inputs, right? When we talked about inputs earlier, in this case today, I'm getting a chat to receive from SendQuick. And when I receive that, I will want to create a trigger, something that we learned earlier as well, which is a chat analysis request. And that's basically what I named it. But if the message that we receive contains the word humidity, then we want to run a certain action. That's the condition, right? So if we say something like hello, it will not request anything from the AI. But if there's a word humidity, we want to run certain actions. In this case, is AI analyze sensor data. In the no-code space of that, the actions and the sequence of events that will be run for the AI analyze sensor data, the first step is to get data from the database, right? And this you do it without code. You can say, I want the last 20 records. It could be in the last 20 hours. Then since there's 20 records, I would like to join them all together first. So it becomes very neat. Then I will send the information off to OpenAI, for example, and ask OpenAI, all right, there are some values in this payload. Can you please provide some analysis on the data provided? That's the question I want to ask. And when the response comes back, I will send it off back to SendQuick, where you will receive the messages in Line and Telegram, respectively. So let's try that out. What's the humidity trend today? So you'll run the action like we've seen before, go to the database, attach it, send it across, and we'll receive it. So here you can see, okay, February 13th to 14th, that's kind of yesterday and today. We have the climbing values and also a peak before midnight, and then there's an anomaly where it dropped to 65. So we may know, okay, around this time, maybe something is happening in the physical environment, we don't know. So we can go on to do some further investigation. So that's a very basic use of attaching sensor data to generative AI, and you can get this information on demand through your chat. Moving on to the third demonstration, you will utilize the cloud and also the edge, which is something on premise. So on my computer now, I have Gravio running in the background, and also I'll be utilizing the Gravio that's in the cloud. Why do we do that? Because when we are trying to control a signaling tower or something in the physical space, we generally may not want to expose ourselves to the internet. If there is any breach, then if everything is hosted in the cloud, they will have access to control things in your physical space, which is not ideal. So what we're doing here now is we're going to be receiving chats again from Line, and SendQuick will pass on the information to us, like we have seen in the AWS Gravio. But then we have a system in Gravio where you can link up the nodes together. So we will be able to receive only the chat from SendQuick from our cloud node, and then depending on what we receive, we will want to change the color of the light. So I think I'm going to turn my camera down around. There's a light like here, and then there's a camera like there also. So we'll utilize both of them. Okay, so before I show you again what's under the hood, we can very quickly see how it works. So we can say, turn the light red. Yeah, so we can control things in the physical space. We can turn off the light, and that's turned off. So what I'm trying to get at here is not only it's not the importance of controlling a tower light that may or may not be a useful use case, but what you can do is you can start thinking about what else you can control in the physical space. In this case, it could be aircon systems, cameras, BMS systems, lighting, Chromecast, even playing sound files on speakers, and becomes very, very, very dynamic. And if you want to see kind of what's going under the hood, this is how it looks like. So I have my MacBook that's also running the Gravio software. And I also have a SendQuick receive, but I'm receiving from the cloud side of things. And I have a trigger here that basically says, if I receive a text that contains the word red, we can actually change the color of the light. And then we can do more dynamic things from there. So controlling the light is as simple as one kind of component. It's not as complex as the OpenAI one. It literally looks like this. So this is called a pet light. The brand is called Pet Light. It's a signaling tower from Japan. It's used in a lot of the manufacturing floors. They use it to determine, if code red is something, code amber is something, and we can basically just say, all right, I want to turn it on. If I want it to be red, I can turn it on, or if I want it to be amber, I can turn it on. In fact, if we do it right now, I can just press the play button, and we can even change the color of the light immediately.
We cannot see the light now.
Can you see? Sorry. Yeah, like this, right? We can just change it immediately to amber. We can change it. You want both lights? You want all the traffic lights? We can do it anytime. In fact,
Nicholas, that's quite interesting. We do have a question. Is that because you showed example of you typing it in, is it possible to say use voice control, talk over a microphone to turn on the light, make it green, made it red?
Okay, so for voice control, we will need something called text to speech. And then that converts the speech to a text, which then we can ingest as kind of like a data set. So I would say in a technical sense, it is possible, but in terms of our feature set right now, we don't have a specific text-to-speech component that you can utilize. But obviously, we can also always connect to a text-to-speech kind of software where we can then get the messages in and then build from there. So
as a
yes,
use case,
that's
it is
possible.
possible. Yeah.
It is
Okay. That's great.
possible.
Thanks.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
if anyone has any questions, do feel free to put in the chat on the Q&A. We can also ask Nick on the air, then he can help us
Yeah.
to clarify even further.
Yeah, you can be super candid with your questions. Don't worry about it. I'll try my best to answer all of them.
Super candid, you get all super candid questions. How long does it take? Okay, we do have one good one. How long does it take to build something like what you showed?
Which one? Is it the light one or the ones or the Gen
Maybe the
AI
light
one
one.
from
That's for
before?
example.
The
Does it
light
take long?
the light one takes me maybe 1 hour.
1 hour? Oh, just to set it up with all the
Yeah.
connections in place, lah, I guess.
Yes, with all the connections in place.
Yes, so
Yeah.
you can play with it and configure it as
Yeah.
much as you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Of
hope
course,
that
with
answers.
every new software, there's a learning curve. So I'm generally well versed already. I would like to hope so that I'm more well versed. But there's always a learning curve, and that's kind of the role that we play also, right? We play the support in helping people learn about our platform and also use it, how to use it. And if you have any questions, you come back to us, and then we can help you on learning on how to use different components.
Question of VQA, but I think that's jumping the gun a bit. So because you haven't gone through the VQA yet,
yes. So
maybe we will
yes,
do that.
I will
Demo
share
first,
about the
then we will
VQA
train
and the steps how to build the system in a little bit for sure. Okay, so now that we can
Okay, cool.
control the lights, the next step. Let's turn off the light first. Let's turn off the light. Okay, yeah. So the next step, the next kind of demo, and the final one will be visual question and answer. So this is kind of the most exciting one, and also the most complex one. So we're going to ask what's happening in the office now, and you'll be using that camera over there. Yeah. So what will happen is when we receive a message from SendQuick, we will be able to, first of all, connect to a camera. So connect to that camera, and we'll tell the camera to take a snapshot, which is like a snapshot of what's happening at that point in time. And then we will attach that snapshot to OpenAI together with a prompt to ask, what can you describe this image in a very basic manner? We get that response, and then we can pass it on back to SendQuick, which will then put it back to various chat applications. So Christoph, to answer your question, we can see what's going on under the hood. And because this has to utilize a lot on the edge, I will have to use my MacBook to control the camera or to basically request a snapshot from the camera. So first things first, we receive a chat again. And then from when we receive the chat, you can actually see the chat here when we were typing earlier, like turn light red, turn the light off the light. When we receive a chat, we will want to take a snapshot. And in this case, we are looking for a keyword called office, right? So when I receive a message from SendQuick that contains the word office, I will create an action. Sorry, not create. I will run an action. And the action is the VQA action. So how does a VQA kind of action look like? How can you request information from an AI? When I receive a message that has the word office, the first thing I need to do is take a photo. So you can see here, we take a photo. Then, because there's quite a few things when you take a photo, we got to split the kind of data up. Then we want to create, in this case, we don't exactly need this step, but because I need the image to be public, so I can be shared throughout different messaging platforms. What this step is making the the image being able to view through a public link. And I send the link together with the image to OpenAI. And I ask the AI, all right, what's happening in this picture? Please describe, not too long, please. And with that response, we will then send the image to SendQuick, at the same time send a message to SendQuick also, so that we can learn about what's happening in this present time. So we can say, what's happening in the office now? Let me bring up the line as well. So you can see here, the image, I have the image of the snapshot, which is taken right now. Let's make it a little bit bigger so we can see here. Then it says, all right, image shows an office space with several desks, blah, blah, blah. So you can imagine, and even picked up the Gravio branding on our whiteboard. But you can see how you can, change your prompt to learn about the physical space, right? It could be like, are these people practicing safety by wearing their helmets? Are they wearing helmets, yes or no? Or are there like tables that are unclean, in terms of like a restaurant? Or things like, is people smoking in a corner? I think that's also something that could be useful for very hidden spots that you can just put a camera and do it at any time. So this is kind of the idea of VQA, is that you don't have to train a specific computer vision model anymore. You can use something to try something very basic. It could even satisfy all your needs. And that is kind of the power, and that's where we're leaning towards in generative AI. And that's kind of one of the use cases that I would like to share today.
Yeah, that's so interesting because we do have a question that came in whether there's any use case for educational institute. So maybe a teacher could say, "Oh, are there any students playing games in the classroom right now?" Take a picture, a snapshot. Yeah, so it can be like that, right?
Yeah, of course. We don't have a current use case in the educational institute specifically for VQA, but I know that there's some requests sometimes from our partners, even in Hong Kong, like vape detection. I think is going to be quite big also. They put sensors that can detect vape, and then if
Vaping.
there's
Oh,
vaping, right, vaping, and or even smoking, right? You can
right, right.
have sensors that can detect those, and
Ah,
then you can say like, oh, sensor is above, is detecting that someone is smoking. You can go and you can go and investigate, or you can even set it up in such a way where if the sensor is detected someone is smoking, take a picture and send it to the chat, right? Then immediately you can see like in real time if really there's anyone kind of smoking in that corner or vaping in that corner. So yeah, I think that is something definitely can be
that's
done.
interesting. Yeah, I hope that answered the question that was posed
I
by
hope that
person.
answers your
If you
question
do
as
have any
well.
other questions, yeah, feel free to share, and then we can ask Nick on air.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I think just moving on, since we have covered all the four kind of use cases and also the live demo, kind of want to recap on what we learned right today is how we can use SendQuick and Gravio to enable the building of innovative solutions. So like for the question that was asked is completely perfect, right? Previously, maybe that couldn't have been possible, at least not so easily. But now you can immediately see, okay, something can be tried and done relatively quickly. And also, how can you add layers of technologies to existing chat applications? So I'm actually using Telegram and Line. And of course, the list will go on because SendQuick has connected to all the major chat applications, not only on the consumer side, but also on the business side, right? So like WebEx, Telegram, oh no, sorry, Slack or like Teams,
Teams, yeah.
something that you guys may be familiar with as well. Then also the use of a hybrid solution, right? Why are we using edge and cloud? Why is it so important, right? So of course, the emphasis on like security and the emphasis on like control and how important it is to be closer to the source. I think that's something that we can take away from today also. Then gaining access to latest technologies, and we also always onboard. So when you see OpenAI just now, it's not limited to just OpenAI. We have recently onboarded Claude, which is also another LLM, and then the list will kind of go on from there. All right. Oh, we have a question from Sam. You said apart from OpenAI, what other AI platforms Gravio can support, please? DeepSeek. Are you specifically referring to DeepSeek? If you are, okay. So DeepSeek we can support in various forms, right? So sorry guys, I think for the rest of you in this call, DeepSeek has been on the news recently, and it's like Chinese AI that is built, and there's a lot of talk around how it's performing against OpenAI. But DeepSeek can actually be deployed on premise. What that means is you can take the entire DeepSeek and put it on your computer, right? Or put it in a server. And then the DeepSeek will be completely yours. And there are tools for that. And how Gravio can support all these other types of large language models is through that framework of how to put it on a local machine. Because Gravio can also run in a local machine. So you can have DeepSeek on one side, Gravio on side by side, and then we can actually talk to each other and do the exact same queries that you have seen that I've done with OpenAI, but completely offline. So this means it can be done without the internet.
Oh,
so
without internet.
Sam, I hope that answers your question. I'll be happy to dive into more technical stuff. If you are keen to learn about DeepSeek some more, you can actually look at this framework or this deployment tool called Ollama. So it's an O and a llama, and you will be able to see that you can deploy a wide range of large language models locally. Yeah. Okay. So if nothing else, right? I just like to end off with a short quote that AI and IoT, this mix, right? It's not just a thing where people are using buzzwords and throwing them all together. It's kind of moving towards a different direction now. It's about transforming the raw data that you have into some form of intelligent action. But not only that, it actually changes the way that humans around the world how we interact with software, right? Usually the software language is code. So if you want to talk to a machine, you got to use code. But now we're leaning more and more towards English, for example, and ChatGPT has shown that a lot. So if you have any more questions, I've come to the end of my presentation.
As usual, when we do presentation like this, there will be this kind of question. What is the costing like to deploy such software in an office? So
okay, so we start from 25 US a month. And then of course we have enterprise plans from there. So
there's a
if you're gonna get started,
model.
Yes, per month, all the way to perpetual. So if you want to use it for more than 3 years or something, then you can actually get a perpetual plan from us. So that's also only on the Gravio side. Then of course we have a bundle with SendQuick where we can do different things together.
Getting popular now, people want to connect with you already. So I think you got one last slide to help them, which is your LinkedIn. You can actually connect with Nick. Yeah.
Okay. Adi, I think you want my email, so I'm going to maybe I can just type to everyone, right?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So my email is nicholas.lim@exterior.com. Actually, I should have put that up in the slide. I didn't know why. I didn't do that, but I put my email in the chat for the benefit of everyone. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, connect with me. We can have a chat, go for coffee, or via email is fine as well. So thank you again. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Okay, Australia. Well, you can get in touch with Nicholas to find out whether you're in presence in Australia, but I'm sure he will have no problem with that. I'm gonna hand over now to my colleague Jasmine to share a bit more before as we proceed to this webinar. I just wonder whether we can see Jasmine now. Are you on?
Yeah, I'm on, but
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna thanks so much, Nicholas, for all the sharing and the demo. I'm just gonna but he's still hanging around. If you do have questions,
Yeah,
feel free to type in the chat and he can take a look at it and reply. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna bring up Jasmine's slide. He's gonna just got a few more slides just to cover, and we should be ending our webinar soon. But this is also very important. Let's go.
yeah. I think first of all, we are very grateful to have Nicholas here with us to really share, how actually marrying Gravio's, AI-powered IoT platforms with our SendQuick unified messaging system to actually do wonderful stuff, like basically building innovative no-code solutions, that can be used in practical settings across different industries. And I think with that, actually, there's no need for any deep technical expertise, in these industries to be able to actually leverage on such technologies. So I think with such kind of adoptions of actually IoT and AI, businesses actually just need to make sure that, in terms of the messaging, the communication channel has to be really smart and reliable. And also be able to be responsive, to be able to, pass the baton, to Gravio and back to us. So I think SendQuick actually addresses this gap. So what we actually do is that we actually have all these channels that we support. So I think to answer, I think there was earlier question about the voice call, right? Yes, we also actually have text to speech capability as well in our settings. Yeah, so definitely can work with Gravio on
perfect.
that. Yeah, so I think there are actually different. These are just some of the layouts of all the different channels that we support. So I think to put it more, a bit more simpler to understand would be there will be groups like, social messengers category that we support. There will also be collaboration tools that we support as well. And of course, currently I just put it all chat based. Chat or messaging based would be also SMS as well. So I think with all these pre-built in Gravio, or rather pre-embedded in Gravio, it actually helps to actually ensure those critical information to be passed to the right people at the right time, and with the right information that is actually essential for them to take the next best of actions. So I think with that, I will pass the time back to Andy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, great.
This is my LinkedIn, by the way. You can
Yeah, you
actually
don't pass
connect.
me your LinkedIn code. Yes,
Yeah.
if you want to get in touch with Jasmine, you can also connect her on her LinkedIn account. You can scan, and of course, do drop us an email. And I think most of you should know anything. You can drop us at info@sendquick.com for anything about today's webinar, as well as how to get in touch with Nicholas if you missed the email. Yeah, there are quite a good questions that came in. If you have any more questions for both Nicholas and Jasmine, anyone? If not, just contact us anytime, no problem. We are always here. Thank you for
Thank
for the
you.
comment. Just one more thing before we go though. I just need a poll. We will then get back to you. I'm gonna launch a poll, or rather a survey. Help me answer the questions on the survey. Then we will be nobody answer. Okay. Yeah. Just to help us to do a quick poll on today's webinar. As well, if you are interested to know more about any particular topic, we can get in touch with you. Just let us know. Just indicate your interest. Thank you again for joining our webinar. We are actually very encouraged. We've got quite a number of people joining today from all over the world, Australia as well, and some also from India, and some also from the Middle East side. Thank you everyone again that for taking the time to join us to give us that feedback that we can actually take back to improve on our webinar. So with that, yep, thank you everyone. I think most of you have answered. With that, thank you very much for joining our webinar. We hope to see you again on our next webinar. Especially for our SendQuick users, we will be planning another online clinic soon, maybe in early of quarter two or end of quarter one. We'll see how it goes. and we'll keep you informed. And if you do have special topics that you want us to cover in terms of our tips for how to use SendQuick, do drop an email. Like I said, info@sendquick.com. All right, very good. Thank you so much for everyone joining. With that, we end. Yes, thank you. There's someone. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, thank you, everyone. Have a good
Thank you.
day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh
Happy
yeah,
Valentine's
happy Valentine's
Day.
Day.
Okay. That's my flower. Okay, bye, everyone. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.